福格森教授您好啊，那我想接着问福格森教授，我们马上就要进入正题了啊，非常重要的这几天大家非常关注的就是高考。那我们其实很简单哈，不光是东亚的父母，我觉得其实全世界很多父母都是一样的。那高考中取得好的成绩，那可以说是人生第一个高成就，可以这么说吧，第一个最重要的高成就。那考上好大学呢，就取得了高成就；考不上好大学，可能面临的人生呢是第一个失败。那我想请问福克森教授，在您的研究里啊，在这本《高成就孩子教养法则》里，什么样的情况您认为算是高成就的孩子，算是高成就？那对高成就您有什么样的定义啊？我想请福克森教授来跟我们聊一聊高成就的定义。
That is not a simple question. Our book was about young people who rise to be the highest achievers in their fields. That is a definition that's useful for a book like ours, but it's not a good definition of success for a parent or a family. And the reason is that only one person can be number one. Only 5% of all people can be in the top 5%. Only 50% of all people can be in the top half. And so we don't want a definition of success for a society in which the vast majority of people are considered failures. And so the definition of success in our book is really that people are able, it's three pieces. They're smart enough to do what it is they decide they want to do. They have some idea of what it is they want to do, purpose. So the first piece is smarts or intelligence. The second piece is purpose. There's something that they're interested in. There's something they would like to achieve in the world. And the third is that they have the energy and the courage and the persistence to actually do it. Now, some things we choose to do, we're not going to be able to choose to succeed at no matter what we do. I could have decided to be a world-class basketball player. I just physically don't have the characteristics to help me be a world-class basketball player. So the idea is for any parent to give their children space, time to find their own interest. And then success should be defined as the child having an interest and then having the courage and passion and energy to work hard enough to achieve it. And so success is achieving what you would like to achieve.
所以刚才福格森教授，谢谢赛萨提到的，其实这里面特别有意思，他给了一个公式。那这个公式并不是说1+1等于2这样的公式。那在这个公式里面，他提到的几个啊，就是对于一个杰出的人，或者是想要一生都能够在蓬勃向上的人，那需要具备的第一是才智，smart， 刚才正好提到的才智，然后自驱力是吧？然后还有使命感。那这3个加在一起才能实现叫什么？它叫充分实现自我。所以每一个我们定义高成就，也不应该是用一个固定的，对吧？每一个家庭、每一个孩子、每一个人他自己的成就，他的内心的想要的方向是不一样的。那能够充分实现自我的人，那可能更是高成就的人，对吧？我想这个是教授想跟我们分享的。那接下来我想问一些更有针对性的其实那我问这样一个问题吧，中国其实非常注重，我觉得在全球来讲，中国已经是非常非常注重教育的国家了。那在孩子从幼儿园阶段就开始，父母就开始报兴趣班了，这是肯定的。然后到小学阶段就开始去报这个叫学习班，是吧？ 那想问一下弗格森教授，家长应该扮演哪个角色？就是在这个幼儿园，这样吧，大家关心小学比较多啊。那在小学阶段，父母他的研究，然后他的采访统计，在小学阶段，父母做什么样的事情啊，或者扮演什么样的角色，对孩子来的成长最有益
？Okay. Well, in our book, we identify 8 roles that parents play, that we call master parents play. And let me say quickly what some of those are. I mean, the first role is the early learning partner, and that's from the time children are born until they start school at around the age of 5. The second role is the flight engineer, and that's about the parent being aware of what their child is experiencing at school and outside of the home, so the parent can be sure that teachers and other people are treating their child well and doing what they need to do that's in the interest of the child. The third role is what we call the fixer, and that is the parent finding opportunities for their child that are well matched to their child's interest. Now, that's a little bit different from finding just out-of-school tutoring opportunities. That's a matter of finding out-of-school activities where the child can learn things that they want to learn, that they're interested in. There may be certain kinds of art. There may be certain types of sports. There may be certain types of facts about the world that the child is interested in, and the parent tries to make sure they have opportunities to learn those things. The fourth role is called the revealer, and that's the role in which parents let their children know what their life options are. Now, I know in China and Korea and to some degree Japan, many parents want their children to be doctors, or concert violinist or pianist. And if their child is not one of those, or scientist maybe, if the child is not one of those, the child is considered a failure. Okay, but there are many more things than that to be interested in the world. Okay, the first time I was in China, I met with a group of parents, and one mother was really worried. She said, "I don't know what to do. My son wants to be a police officer. What can I do?" And I said, "Encourage him to be the best possible police officer he could possibly be." I also told her every 12-year-old wants to be a police officer, so he's going to change his mind a few more times. Don't worry about it. But as I was saying earlier, people are different. Everybody is not going to fit into the top 5%. Everybody's not going to get into the top university. Everybody is not going to be a doctor. So try to expose your child to many different things that they could aspire to be, and then provide the encouragement to become the best possible versions of themselves, doing things that the child is actually interested in. So I should say, so I'm not saying don't send your children to get outside extra academic coaching if everybody else is doing that. But I am saying for your child to become what we call a fully realized human being, he or she needs to be allowed to chase their own vision, to choose their own future, to choose what kind of person they want to be and what kinds of career and extracurricular activities they may want to have.
正好有朋友也在问什么是高成就，如何定义，谁来定义？哈，这个问题其实我们刚才也有涉猎，教授最后回答那个问题的一句话里很重要，他提到的是充分的实现自我。对，比如说我们也许认为我是 AI 设计师，可能也许就会比成为警察更有成就吗？这些并不重要，而重要的是我在我想成为那个人里面，我实现了自我。这个是更重要的而不是孩子被动的被强迫的给他贴上标签，强迫他去成为一个你想成为的人，而不是孩子自己能够成为更好的。 这个是刚才弗格森教授跟我们在讲孩子成长的早期阶段哈，基本上属于0到5岁，或者是我记得在书里面也涉猎到小学阶段里有4个角色，我给大家在这个复习一下4个角色：早期学习伙伴、启发者、飞航工程师，还有一个是救援者，对吧？还是榜样？救援者啊。那这里面其实我想让弗格森教授一会儿帮我们分享一些更具体的内容。比如说在小学阶段哈，在幼儿园觉得孩子会遇到，比如在学校，比如说碰到不好的同学啊，班级的氛围不好，或者老师对孩子有偏见，这个是我们改变不了的。那作为父母来讲，那刚才他提到哪一个角色可以帮助我们去应对这样的问题？有请弗格森教授。
Parents should help the child to understand how the parent wants them to react to that situation, what the parent wants them to think about this situation. They should also empathize with the child to let the child know, I understand how that feels. I don't think that's fair. I think you're a great person. I love you. I want you to have the life you would like to have. You go to a school where that's just the way it is, and we can look for ways to try to make it different. But even if we can't make it different, you need to know you are the most special person in the world to me. And that's all that matters to me. Right? And so children will have, sometimes there's the word reference groups. There's social reference groups. It's like, who do I compare myself to? Whose opinion about me matters? And the parent can work with the child to let the child know that the most important opinions about that child are the parent and the child. Right? Yeah. Now, I think the parent at the same time wants to communicate to the child the type of person the parent wants the child to be. And there's a balance to strike, not having it be so ambitious that the child could never achieve it, and not having it be so easy that the child could easily achieve it. There's something in the middle. And in the book, we talk about the parent being a student of their child. A student of their child. And what we mean by that is their parent understanding the child well enough to know how to treat that particular child to help them become the best possible version of themselves. There's one thing I wanted to add to my last answer, just in case. Please. I don't know whether it was covered in what you just talked about. Yeah. But in my answer, I was mainly talking about how the parent relates to the child. If the parent is in a situation where they have an opportunity to influence the school, to get the teachers to do things differently, to have some impact on how children treat one another, then they should use that influence. Sometime they may be in a school where they can help to organize the other parents, because if there's something that they're not happy with, it's likely that there are other parents that are also not happy with it. And so if parents come together and reach agreement about how they would like things to be, they can communicate with the school about changing some of those things. So the parent's response is to work with the child in ways that I talked about a minute ago. But if there are opportunities to work to change what happens in the world to their child in the school, then that's something they should also at least consider doing.